Welcome back. We are now nearly 100 days from the 2026 midterms, but the Democratic National Committee is already looking ahead to 2028. South Carolina is poised to hold the first Democratic presidential nominating contest next cycle after the DNC's Rules Committee moved to keep the Palmetto State in the lead primary spot. It comes as Democrats have sought to elevate more racially diverse states to early primaries. South Carolina, where black voters are the foundation of the Democratic electorate, beat out Nevada, which pointed to its state's large Latino population as a reason it should go first. The decision could have major implications for which Democratic candidates emerge as early frontrunners in 2028. Joining me now is NBC News national political reporter Ben Kamisar, who is covering today's DNC meeting. Ben, thanks so much for joining us to break down this breaking news. So South Carolina seems to be set to be Democrats' first primary in the 2028 contest. How significant is this?
It's pretty significant. I mean, look, kind of throw the 2024 contest out for the Democrats because it wasn't really contested. But looking back to 2020, you started with two lily white states, Iowa, New Hampshire, certainly places that had a lot of fans for retail politics, for being able to reach rural communities. But they were lily white electorates in a party that was counting on Hispanic Democrats, black Democrats, other voters of color as the major piece of the puzzle for them. And so what this move kind of does right now is it makes those states, South Carolina and Nevada, two right at the front. And ultimately, it's going to mean that the candidates that want that early momentum will have to do well with those voters, which is a little bit of a shift. You know, you think about President Joe Biden when he won in 2020. He did very poorly in the first two contests, Iowa and New Hampshire. Ultimately, his candidacy was saved by South Carolina. So there's going to be a lot of strategic decisions made because of this flip of the calendar. It's going to be interesting to see how this affects the open nomination.
It is. And Ben, we should clarify for folks, is this etched in stone at South Carolina? Could it change between now and 2028?
It's
what do you know
written
about
in
that?
pen.
Okay.
It's written in pen, not pencil, right? Anything can happen. Technically, you know, there's some questions here about New Hampshire. New Hampshire has a state law that says it has to hold the first nominating contest, so any similar type. So there's questions about what this means for New Hampshire. New Hampshire hasn't said whether or not it's going to follow this. It held a rogue primary in 2024. No one really cared because, again, President Biden was the only Democrat really running, a serious Democrat running with a serious chance of winning the nomination, But, you know, ultimately we'll have to see what happens, whether or not New Hampshire ends up going through with this, or whether there are some, unique wrinkles down the road or questions that need to get answered.
So another interesting aspect to this, the DNC also expanded the number of states having primaries before Super Tuesday. Ben, who made the cut there? What are you watching?
Yes. So, it's usual suspects in that first three. You've got South Carolina, Nevada, and New Hampshire. And then a fresh face, New Mexico. A lot of folks were surprised to see that New Mexico made the cut here. New Mexico, then followed by Michigan and Virginia. So we went from having 4 states in that early window to 6 states in the early window, getting some additional coverage from the West and from the South, which when I spoke with, when reporters here spoke with Chairman Ken Martin, he said it was an emphasis for the party to kind of skate where the politics is going in the South and the better population growth compared to some of these other states that you're seeing across the country that are losing population. And so the argument here was to go to the regions that population is growing and hopefully expand the Democratic foothold there.
All right, Ben Kamisar, thank you so much for being there. Thanks for your great reporting and perspective. We really appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.